Who picked up the color?
These guys. The other guys who wear blue and black.
Not him, not him.
Sorry.
Goes with your beard. Accentuate your beard.
Massive Jack's eyes.
That's just horrible.
That is horrible. I take that back, but
But
I'll say it later.
I don't like you.
it's already recorded, so you don't.
It's already on record. It's public record.
Public record.
Somebody will call me. A few seconds.
All right, it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Not yet.
39. You got about 14 seconds.
Yeah, well, we'll try to be accurate.
Oh, man.
We got a delay.
You don't get paid for any more.
She's in Tampa, we got a delay.
That's true. Here we go. Wait, no, we got call of order, mister. Hold on. Terry, can you lead us on the call of order? Roll call here, please.
Tom Tucson.
Wow.
Here.
David Hume.
Present.
Michelle Hart.
Present.
Jeff McLaughlin.
I'm here.
Ray Sealock.
Hopefully he's on the way. Is he online?
He will be coming.
Okay. All right, just real quick, this is the Celebration Community Development District meeting. It is, I can't believe it, August 26th, 2025. Boy, happy Halloween, everyone. We're almost there. It's moving that quick. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, what? Attendance?
Yes. Yes,
Just about.
he's in the building. Okay.
Made the same noise.
So if we can move to bring the agenda.
Have there been any adjustments or things?
I think so.
I'm gonna bring it in.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, public commentary.
All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello. Good
Street Jackson from Clark. I just want to check in with you. Last month I wasn't able to make it, so I wanted to see if there's any feedback for me. I did get a question earlier about when the busy season is. It usually would have started a lot earlier, but it's been a pretty dry year up until right now. And then it's just so super hot that even when it rains, it most time dries up maybe even by the end of the day. And so that actually is pretty helpful. So unless, depending on the type of mosquitoes and salt marshes on the East Coast has been pretty bad, but otherwise it's been a pretty light year that we've seen. But usually it would have been a lot crazier. We just kind of had a dry summer.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any increase requests.
No, but we sure been getting a lot of rain the last couple of weeks,
I-
like inch and a half at a time, so.
Yeah, but when it's 95 degrees, it just kind of dries it up. So you don't get a lot of extra water in ditches and stuff like that. But if there, if there's any feedback, any questions or anything concerns, I just want to take it back to the operations team.
Quiet summer, those mosquitoes.
Oh, now that's it. Now they're all gonna be around your house. Way to go. Thank you. I do appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much.
My comment was for job security for each.
It's like, I need something to fly around, right? But thank you so much.
So let's go to, if there's no other comment period, let's go, anybody online?
Yes, there is one gentleman. Bill, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm Bill Kurth, for the record, from Premier Lakes. I'm just sitting here waiting for our time to speak on the agenda.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Mhm.
We're slowly getting there. Okay, so let's move on to third-party reports and presentations. Anyone from PROA? No. And I don't think we have anyone from the sheriff's department does here, so, no, okay. I know we've been trying. So we're trying to aim for next agenda on that. I know PROA is having their meeting in the middle of September, but we still need to get the sheriff in here.
They've got a workshop tomorrow supposedly with.
That's probably what it is, but that's
I
not
thought it
gonna
was
help.
the 10th.
Yeah, it's not gonna help that, but whatever the case is.
Okay, I thought it was tomorrow night. Okay.
Well, I think the ask was whenever the sheriff was gonna be here, if we could piggyback on that. So if he says, he's gonna be at Crow at 6, then can he come at 5:30 so we can meet with him?
In ordinary circumstances, I'd suggest the works joint meeting, but
No, I just think we have to have our meeting to go over all the details.
I don't know if we can communicate that to him or not. Or if we already has.
Is this the time where we can talk, even though they're not here, just about a few outstanding sheriff's things, or do you want to wait?
Well, we can, no, we can go ahead and do that. Just make it brief. I don't want
Yeah.
to.
Oh, yeah, let's just.
Okay,
This
we'll,
third
we'll
party.
we'll wait till later.
I'll third party report. Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Jack.
Way to keep them in line, Jack.
Trying to get this thing done before 6:30.
Oh, all right. So vendor reports, United.
Try not to fly here.
Afternoon, everybody. So like people are saying, the rain is here. And last week I was seeing quite a few bed weeds. So I brought in a full-time spray tech. All he did, two of them, all they did is drive around, spray open beds, targeting crack weeds, bed weeds, really anything. Next month, we got your anvils getting changed out. I'm gonna probably go with a winter kind of cool season, maybe a coleus or a dianthus. And then pine straws scheduled for October. We're gonna probably start that the last week of September because I know Halloween is a big get together here.
Yeah.
So I'll invoice you in October.
You're welcome to come.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll come. So yeah, with that being said, all the projects that Russ and I have gone over will start October 1, and we'll get banging on some of those.
So the question I have, I know we still have to meet because we have a bunch of outstanding items. I just want to make sure that we schedule something soon.
Mhm.
Just because there's some have gone on for a little while and they're just small areas.
Sure.
That have to get addressed. And I think that right now, I think budget wise, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything.
Yep.
But if you want to spend the time between now and October 1st to identify, alleyways and some areas, some islands or whatever that are ours, if we're just missing, because I know all these areas are missing like 2 or 3 bushes.
Yeah.
There's not major stuff that has to get spent. It's just, I want to redesign.
Yeah.
I just want, okay, if there's wild grass there, let's get a few wild grass.
Get it all uniformed.
And there are some areas that I know have died off repeatedly, so we're looking probably some soil testing to find out what's going on, because I don't want to keep planting and, doing all that, so, yeah. But yeah, I don't know if we can schedule it next week.
This week, again, Thursday or Friday morning, you available?
Friday morning, maybe.
I do Friday
Friday
morning.
morning?
Friday.
So, I'll confirm with you later, but let's do Friday morning.
Okay. But that's all I got.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Premier Lakes. I think you own half of our book packet. If I'm not mistaken.
Excuse me? For the record, this is Bill Kurth. Premier
No,
Lakes.
no, you have a lot of detailed photos and comments on all these lakes, so I appreciate that. But it's your turn to speak, so I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, and this is Bill Kurth. I'm the Vice President of Premier Lakes. I'm standing in for Alex. Alex is expecting the birth of his first child tomorrow. So
Wow.
they're busy getting everything ready.
Busy,
So
Congratulations.
well, thank you. A few comments. We had, during the summertime, we're fighting algae constantly, and we had some really great success before the warm and rainy season occurred. It is typical to experience more algae growth as the summer goes on, and we find it to be a challenge on the property. One of the things that we've done recently is we did use Utrisorb, which is a phosphorus binder, on 2 lakes, which were SV 18 and SV 25A. We did see some limited improvement in minimizing algae growth, but not really where we expected. And I don't believe the phosphorus drop was where we expected. Alex did work with the vendor CPro Corporation, and they pulled muck samples on those 2 lakes to see, because sometimes you run into issues, even though you're trying to do sediment inactivation for the water column. If you have significant muck buildup, there can be situations where the if you don't address the phosphorus in the muck, you don't get the kind of results. So we don't have those samples back yet, but the look of the muck samples was significantly dark, thick muck. We do anticipate that that might be some of the issue is the buildup of muck over time. So we will know more when we get the results back, but that may take up to a month. One of the significant improvement lakes we had was SV11, which has been a very problematic lake for us. One of the things that we did was we launched a boat in that lake, and we actually used the propeller of the boat to chop up the algae. And sometimes when you get significant mats of blue-green algae, and it's also mixed with whatever remnants of slender spike rush and submersed weed that we tend to have a lot of in celebration, the two kind of create a floating symbiotic relationship where I think the half dead spike rush may root in the algae, and we found that sometimes mechanical agitation allows us to get better penetration in, and so far the results on SV11 are very promising. The lake looks as good as it's looked in quite a long time. We did a matching treatment with a shore-based vehicle, and initially we didn't get as good results, but we did another application at the same rate, so we're waiting to see where that is. We still, there's many lakes, if you look at the report that was put together, that we're treating at max label rates, and we're doing those treatments as frequently as allowed by the label, because typically you have to wait 2 weeks in between treatments. We're still struggling to keep up with the algae. Luckily the floating weed species and the submerged weed species are no more than traces, so we've had improvement that way, but the algae growth is a continuous challenge, and we continue to treat it as well as we can. The one other thing I did want to mention was Lake Reinhard. There was some comments about algae, I believe, congregating in an area right by the wall, by the steps. And Alex and I had a conversation about what options we might do, whether it's just treating it every single time we're on site, but that's pushing the limit of the labels. But one of the things that I've had success with on really problematic lakes and in areas where you want to keep a certain section of the lake clear is circulators. I believe Alex provided a quote or an idea of that, where it might be $3,500 per surface aerator. I believe you still had to check and make sure that there was electrical available. I think there is near one of the fountain control panels, but by utilizing two of these water movers, and they're basically a propeller that moves a stream of water, but as opposed to a surface aerator, it moves the water horizontally. You can use the current basically to create an area where algae that accumulates by either current or wind, and usually wind, but you can keep the algae spread out. There's been very little algae in that lake recently, but the little bit that's there just seems to accumulate in an area where it's not really beneficial to be. So we think that using those water circulators may significantly help right there on the waterfront area of most concern, give a better look to the lake consistently.
All right.
And
Well,
that's the report I had to give. Does anybody have any questions for me?
sure. I'll start off. This is Dave, and since we're talking Lake Reinhardt, I don't think I saw a proposal for a circulator.
No, there isn't one. Alex and I talked about it. I told him there wasn't a huge rush. He was dealing with his family.
No, that's fine.
So, I think it's Adrian was gonna come out, measure and determine exactly what we needed, Bill.
Yeah, well, I think he wanted to make sure that we had proper electric available before we sent a quote, because your cost would be significantly increased if we didn't have proper electric. So I'm sure that Adrian has that on his, and I haven't spoken to Adrian today, but I'm sure he has that on his schedule to look at. And we do have familiarity with the Casco circulators because we've used them in other areas. So I think that Adrian will get that handled, and then we will get a proposal to you.
Great. Well, if feasible, love to see the proposal, and also give us like detail, for example, if there's any maintenance responsibility, long-term or recurring, and also if there's any noise component to this, since it is kind of like right downtown, like noise, site aesthetics, any other kind of considerations like that?
Yeah, well, I would tell you that those surface aerators are actually very low maintenance. They don't, unless you have a massive algae bloom that might clog up, but they are designed to work in heavy vegetation of many types without getting blocked. So typically it's not that. And they unless we had it set where it was too close to the water surface, you shouldn't experience any noise from them at all.
All right.
Bill, on SV11 and SV25A, you mentioned muck. What happens with the muck? What do we have to do? Have to remove it?
No, I would tell you, and look, I know that Alex had presented some phosphorus remediation numbers, and they were high numbers, and obviously that was decided not to go on. But we're still trying to work on every idea we have of minimizing the growth of algae. But so the cost for removal of muck is not a cost that you might want to necessarily look at, because there's cost to dredge, and then there's cost to remove the material, and those numbers can be overwhelming. So typically what we're looking at in those two lakes is what the cost might be to, you can basically utilize some of the phosphorus remediation products. There's some that are meant to actually cap off the nutrient in the muck and kind of cap off the muck so that it doesn't contribute its nutrients to algae growth. But one of the things that we find significantly, sometimes even in lakes that don't have a significant amount of phosphorus in the water, there are algae that actually will grow right on that muck layer, and they can kind of mine the phosphorus out of the muck, and then the algae end up floating up after that. So it can be a source for constant algae growth. And we're always trying to be proactive and look at methods that might benefit it, but we also understand that we have to look for solutions that are going to be not cost prohibitive where it wouldn't be considered. So we want to look at the numbers of where they're at and see if that's the issue, and then think about what our options are based upon those results.
Well, Bill, we're about to embark on a pond bank restoration project, which may affect, I'm not sure it affects those particular lakes, but that may actually remove a lot of the muck to begin with.
Not so much.
Never mind.
Next slide.
Okay.
Shifting gears real quick, where are we with the littoral shelves? I think Aquila's done.
There is one in here. I didn't see a second.
Aquila is done.
8 or something.
The other one is killed off. I think they'll probably, after Labor Day, he'll start planting.
Have they cleared it yet or not?
I don't know if it's been cleared. I know
East
it's been,
Village?
Yeah, East Village.
yeah.
That's been cleared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill, is there a specific phosphorus level that triggers some change in your approach? So when we get the results, we have a sense of what it should tell us?
I will be honest. I do, as far as the phosphorus levels in the muck, and the reason why it takes a lot of testing is they actually break down the phosphorus, and they look for pounds of phosphorus, and there's different types of phosphorus in the muck. Some of it is relatively not biologically available, and some of it is. I'm not as well versed on that, so I would lean to our CPRO Corporation experts on that. I would tell you that when you're looking in water, typically any phosphorus level under 100, and that's actually parts per billion. That's a very low level of phosphorus. Those numbers are considered fair. Anything over 100 is reason for concern. And so you understand the difference between a phosphorus level in water of 100 and 150 might be 10 times the algae growth. And I think some of the numbers we had were significantly over that. And I always related. I live in Southwest Florida. I always related to, we see a lot of stories about Lake Okeechobee and water coming out of Lake Okeechobee that has harmful algae blooms. they're really worried about Okeechobee at 150 or 200. But typically, sometimes in stormwater management systems, we see numbers that are significantly higher than that.
Ours were around 300 show, so.
This might be related, but I noticed on two particular ponds, SB3, LV2, the statement or the comment was regrowth is outpacing treatments, which doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when some of the products that we're using for algae control, and obviously, I hope everybody understands that in the majority of stormwater management systems in the state of Florida, copper-based algicides are used, and they are more effective than the products that we have to utilize. But some of the products we use stipulate that we can only treat every 2 weeks because as we kill off algae, you can get significant reductions in dissolved oxygen. And in particular, during the summer, when you have some overcast days, when you have rapid rainfall and you have very warm water, and the last year or two, we've seen some summer water temperatures in the mid 90s and close to 100 degrees. The warmer the water is, the less oxygen it holds. So you already have situations there. So but when you're dealing with herbicides and or algicides, the label is the law. And when it says you have to wait 2 weeks in between treatments, we're frustrated because we do see the algae dying following our treatments, but it regrows so quickly that it looks unsightly before we have the ability to retreat it again. So that's where that comment comes from.
And that's just something we have to live with, or for those particular ponds, is there another tool in the toolbox that we can use?
Well, typically the tool in the toolbox is to, utilize proactive methods, which include aeration and includes phosphorus remediation. Sometimes it's beneficial bacteria, but I would say that I understand that there are, and I apologize, I am not as familiar with your water bodies as Alex is, but we have had a lot of discussion. I know there are lakes that have been aerated that still grow a lot of algae, and that's unusual. I know that there are lakes where bacteria may have been utilized, and we're not seeing the kind of results there. And it is my assumption that there's a significant amount of water flow. When I have been up there and I've looked at the property, the structures for moving water are significant, which always leads me to believe that there is a significant amount of water movement. So, the other thought is the water coming in? What are the sources of water coming in? So there's a lot to learn, and we haven't been out there for a full year yet to understand everything and all the dynamics that go on there. But typically what you try and do is minimize the nutrient or minimize the impact of the nutrient so that you slow the algae growth. But I would say that it is a little more complex during the summer to achieve that when you have water flow and potential nutrient loading based on rainfall also.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir. Do appreciate it. I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions, but obviously other stuff on your mind right now. So
and that's good. And I will be a resource if I do live in Southwest Florida, but I've been up there several times already. And if when Alex is off for a little bit of time, if there is a need, I'll be glad to come up there and do ride arounds and do whatever's necessary to hopefully fine tune what we're doing and get the best results we can possibly get. So thank you, everybody.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Don't you approve it?
Any discussion?
One comment, just for clarification, last month, I believe we said for those items, our field items, R&M maybe, that we're at 100%. Are we stopping all of those activities until the next fiscal year?
Most of them, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah, correct.
pretty much what it is, unless it's like, oh, that you can't, right? That's an essential thing. Most of it is all stop. Yeah.
Health and safety.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Regular reports, field manager.
Speaking of that, one of the fountains are down at the splash pad is the middle one, which is good, cause you can't really tell, cause you got the.
Sure.
We'd be looking at anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to get that fixed. You want me to wait till October?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't think anybody's gonna. Fix it, to be honest with you.
no, cause it's a little more than a month. The question is, how long does it take to get the part, all that other stuff?
And we gotta determine, because we know one thing blew up the other day, but then it might be because of the pump too, or the motor, I should say, so we don't know, we gotta get.
I mean, if you're ordering it now, but the cost doesn't incur until the next fiscal year, it's really gonna take that long.
Well, accounting question is, when is it?
What do you recognize it as?
Right.
Expense?
I
know that.
Say not really, if I know I'm gonna have to pay it, do I really care if it's this fiscal year or next?
No, I get it. It depends on how long it's gonna take. So you're still doing investigation.
Of trees, sprite views,
Sort of, just back on that, just more generally, we seem to have, maybe I'm wrong, more issues with the splash pad over the past 12 to 24 months. Like the first couple of years I was on, I don't remember anything ever breaking at all. And it seems like recently between pumps and lights, and maybe I'm just misremembering
You
history.
missed a few things.
Okay.
Like it completely flooding everything in there, all electronics, motors, all that stuff.
Never mind. I wasn't sure if there was some increased reviews, maintenance.
Nightmares.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, I didn't know if there was something more aggressive in a review maintenance, or you just wait till stuff breaks or.
Breaks and.
Okay.
Good thing we're putting more splash pad in town.
Oh, wait. Oh. Well, we're not putting up the splash pad tent.
Next.
We're not.
Trees, dead trees, they'll be cut next month and we'll be billed in October. Palm trees, next month, we'll be billed in October,
Okay,
so,
that'll be the second trim.
yes.
I know there were some trees that went down Oak Pond. For the burst.
Well, there was some of
The
them.
microburst.
I didn't drive the whole place.
There was, yeah, I know there was some down there, probably just took care of it. Streets open, so.
They were all over East Village. I mean.
The county even came out, we cut a couple of
Yeah.
trees on
Yeah.
Indigo, I believe.
The county.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
I was saying that.
No.
Can you say that for a second? Can you say that again?
Gonna get struck by lightning.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
Here's how that happened. And happy we get it happen again.
So we're holding off on those trees.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, right
Not
now,
another
during
30
hurricane
days.
season, I wouldn't
Yeah.
plant anything.
The trees aren't gonna fall over.
No, but I'm just saying that any trees that have, I wouldn't replace anything right now.
No.
I'd be counting down, we would wait till after hurricane season.
Yeah. Since we were talking about trees, I saw in the report on here from the arborist and mistletoe management. I get it, mistletoes, but I've always understood, hey, unless you're gonna go out and manually scrape mistletoes, which I'm not suggesting. Is this just an informational thing? What is a mistletoe, or is this an action?
Tim, give us a nice report on that. It's actually. Some people say mistletoe's not bad for the tree, but it's not good for the tree.
It's like, no, after a while. it
You
gets
can
better.
guarantee that that tree's gonna die sooner than later.
And the only thing I
The
saw.
only way you can do to get rid of it is you really need to cut below the mistletoe. You can break it off, it's gonna grow right back.
Well, it also says in here about chemical control. That's, I didn't think we were gonna go pruning everything, so I didn't know if there was a suggestion on chemical control that we were looking at.
I thought you had a list of about 7 or 8, 10 trees that need to be replaced.
There's 9 on the Irish report that need to come down.
Yeah.
Which is a good.
That's a good report. 12 of them come down, and a couple palm trees.
On the mistletoe, he said, you might as well just cut the tree down. Because by the time you cut it out, you've deformed the tree so much, it's not ever gonna grow. You can impact the aesthetics, it's never gonna grow correctly. And his recommendation was really just cut them down when they get.
So, but your question is a chemical spray.
Well, it mentioned in the report, there's a chemical control paragraph, and I was just trying to figure out, was this just an informational paper? What is mistletoe? Or were they actually suggesting something for us?
I think part of it was just information.
Okay. Cause I hear people, residents all the time have an opinion and thoughts on, hey, we need to get rid of mistletoe. I'm not gonna send you guys up every tree in town to go pull mistletoe down.
Was there anything with the
Well,
arborist that required
what would-
immediate attention due to hurricane season?
There were 9 that he identified that.
But
And that's what they need.
none were in imminent danger of falling on somebody's house?
No.
And they'll get removed next month.
Probably, yeah, within 30 days, I would
Yeah.
say.
And I think you identified a couple more on that list. I think there were 12 or 13 of them, and we had them all totaled, so.
That seems to be a good process though, right? That
Yeah.
the whole arborist.
Mhm.
quarterly-
Just, yeah, and it just allows, us, you know, tickets get open.
So you had somebody.
Correct. It doesn't mean it's happening today, it means it's happening.
Well, I mean, it would have happened quicker if it wasn't budget wise.
I know, I understand.
And it is.
But again, if it was something was really seriously dangerous, we would have to address.
What would be really wonderful is if we don't have a lot of trees to cut down after October, and we have some money left over, maybe we could start getting rid of some of that mistletoe in the trees, especially where you live, Jack. They're really bad there. There's just a couple spots where you look and there's like 15 trees and there's mistletoe all over. Especially in the winter time when the leaves drop. Oh, that tree's real green. Oh, no, it's all mistletoe.
It's all mistletoe. Someone think about it.
Thought.
Anything else for us?
Like I said, mentioned, we've been, the pressure washer, the big right on, it's working really good, so. Knocking on something, and it keeps, you know, it's probably be done in another 2 or 3 days, and then we'll just do on the boulevard all the way down to Island Village.
You're on, I know it needs to. I know another area is, East Lawn Sterling. Yeah, if you look at the sidewalks and curbs, they're turning different color greens. It's just because it's so.
That's a 5-foot sidewalk, we can't get the machine.
Oh, that's right, all right. So that's. Manual. Okay.
Smaller machine.
Well, it's-
Oh, yeah, they're out here today. I don't know if they drove from Louisiana, which doesn't matter. They got here at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, so. Hopefully by tomorrow, Todd's got some work. He's gonna be out of town, so he was with him a little bit today and I'll be with him tomorrow. And make sure that all the outlets and things like, we're in 8 or 10 of them, something like that, are working, operational and functional. And then if we need to move them, there may be a couple that we're gonna move, might move. We're just gonna literally move to this side of the alleyway because.
Well, the whole point is, yeah,
It's in our easement. You got a house here, so, you know, couple of, well, chances are if you move it across, you'll get like. We'll determine that tomorrow, and then, Madam, he said they can have it moved that day. We went early enough, so they really wanna put this to bed.
so is this a long-term solution?
I think it is. With the exception, we're dealing with electronics and stuff on these light bulbs. You wanna,
Expand on that.
well, okay. When they originally bought the light poles, they got stored for about a year, and then they came out on site for like 6 months before they even got installed. They replaced half of the alley lights, because they weren't working. So I don't know if maybe even a couple of these that aren't working right now, or a couple from the old batch. I don't. Battery goes bad.
Maybe you need battery, yeah.
Now, I will say too, that they have said that if push comes to shove, they'll run electric and put electric alley lights on the ones that aren't working.
Okay, what's the push and what's the shove? I'm trying to encourage that, but I'd like to have that well identified.
I
before
will
we-
have their lawyer calling me, asking me for documents for the turnover as soon
Yeah.
as they leave.
That I think it has to be there because ultimately that is the solution.
Okay.
There should have already been electric.
And before we go,
Just X number, it's a performance issue. If you can't meet this within a certain time, you run wire. You know,
And also if those lights are like failing on a regular basis, that's not.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
So I don't think these have been bad for a while.
what's clearly anything that's broken is an easy one. What's the reasonable standard that we can go back and say this didn't work? Is it only works half the night, only goes half illumination?
I think that they get
The
the,
metric.
There's a,
I'd say it's 8 poles, that they get them up and running.
Well, this became the photometric thing that it's a zero point, but we need to buy a photometric.
it's the county standard is 0.2 foot candles, and while it's dark.
period.
But to Tom's point, And to mine, I think in order for us to measure that, we need to buy one because you said 2 months ago, the county doesn't have one and isn't bringing one out.
Yeah,
even though it's their
I
standard.
told them they're not gonna test and they're not gonna enforce.
So if we care about this, we need to, was it like 4 or 5 grand?
I think for a good one, yeah.
What, for a medium one?
Or they just don't light it.
Yeah, force matter.
Because in phase 2, they're
They
gonna
have
have
stressor, please.
lights in the alley.
I know, but once the light is there, the expectation is there's lights.
Yeah.
If there were no alley lights, that would have gotten us out of it.
This is part of the scope.
It is part of it.
Is it only the 8 that aren't working?
Yes.
How many total?
8, they've been out for months and months and months.
So.
And the rest are all.
We've been working on, you know,
The
right,
rest
so,
are all-
yeah, Todd does a review every month.
So the expectation too is the lights are on 100% of the time when it's dark. That is the expectation, not 90%, not 80%, because that was one of the fixes. Oh, you want to extend it, reduce the light to 70%. So I'm like, come on.
Well, and I agree with you. My question is for Jan, is that a legally enforceable thing?
We could do a post-closing and for those 8 that just got repaired, if they fail within 180 days, they'll replace them or make them electric or do whatever.
Russ, your suggestion was replace the batteries.
Oh, they brought brand new batteries
Yeah.
today with them.
Okay.
That's the first thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Feeding and troubleshooting at the battery.
It's just that I would say if more than one battery fails, let's go straight to electric. Wire.
The
With
problem
playing
is that,
games there.
the problem is that the batteries are gonna fail. They only last for so long and you're gonna have good batteries, bad batteries. I mean, this thing is gonna continue. I still believe the hardwire is really the only way. It should have been done to begin with.
Well, be glad I talked about doing the solar lights on all the main roads.
Yeah.
Cause the whole thing is gonna be solar.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What's,
I flat refuse to have them do it on boulevards and stuff, with oak trees, you go look at Golf Park right now,
It won't-
20 years down the road,
It won't happen.
it
Yeah.
won't work.
what's the rough cost to replace the battery?
I have no idea.
I'm just trying
I
to,
have
we don't
no
need to
idea.
know now, but there's gonna be a maintenance cost that we're gonna need to consider.
Well, the battery and the maintenance to swap it out.
We can get that because Madden just bought 10 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's.
If this is $20 versus $200, I'd like to.
That's
I
fine.
think you're gonna,
It's going to be $20.
I think you're gonna look, I think you're gonna be 200 plus.
I think, yeah, if I had to guess, it's probably more than $200, but.
Find out how much so we can say we need them to give us this money that we can escrow for future light repairs for the next couple of years.
Is the Island Village, did you sign off on the bridge? Full size?
Oh, we're getting there.
Yes, that's.
That's under, that's under,
Really exciting.
I know.
That's a different report.
That's
Let's try to get out at 6:30.
And you,
640.
Photometrics, I mean, I don't. You know, phase 2, they're doing it up and they're already doing it, unfortunately, it's in the back of the garage. There's no alley lights, so,
oh, that's
That's their-
county approved it.
yeah, no, I agree. You don't have to
And
worry
we
about
don't maintain it, and you don't maintain it.
No.
Yep.
Is it acceptable for us just to defer any complaints on those to the county and say?
No, actually, no, it goes to
Go
Crowe.
ahead. Yeah, Crowe.
So, but your pro owners are gonna have to replace those?
I think the maintenance guy probably.
You don't have to like that.
One light bulb,
Doesn't inspect at night, so they won't see it.
it's just a light bulb.
All right, you said 6:30. Moving on then.
Yes.
We've-
Okay, anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Two things.
Yep.
Okay, one, North Village sidewalks. I walked it, there are 230 pounds remaining, but there's 50 some in Georgetown, and Russ and I talked about. They're the 8x8s. I don't think we do the whole pound. We've never done partial pounds before, but.
Oh, yeah, we have. You haven't, but we have.
Oh, okay.
Do you just grind or slice it?
Yeah,
down?
just like just
Saw cut it and just do the partial pound,
Yeah.
because so many of them are just where the equipment crushed the corner, so.
And I got a problem with us replacing those panels there. You know as well as I do.
We got pictures of it,
Yeah,
where they've.
driving my list on it when they were painting. Twice.
We discussed this before, just like the church paid for it. When their equipment damaged the sidewalks, are we not going after Georgetown?
Well, here's part of our problem. We passed a resolution that we would require them to get a permit and notify us and put a deposit down. Of
They never did.
course not.
I don't know when that was resolved. But
Yeah, what?
this is the second time, because they painted it about 10 years ago too, and did the same thing.
So my first suggestion is within the next couple days, if we can do a GoGov blast, hey, here's a new policy, and if we can include that as an attachment. That goes out to everybody in the community. I will go to the next promo meeting and make sure I'm bringing this up, because I think from a covenants perspective, it should be worked into their process. If somebody is requesting to be able to do siding or not covenants, our process. If somebody's doing something on their house that's gonna require heavy equipment, there should be a trigger in the CROA process to say, oh, by the way, there's the CDD consideration.
I agree with that. The only exception I have, we have to add something to it, is when you get to an entity like Georgetown, where you're looking at the service areas or whatever. That's not a GoGov thing. That's an actual entity thing that actually has to say, hey, I know and everybody else.
Off the tax roll, like the name of the commercial entities and send letters. Expensive to send letters.
How many panels was it, Kerry?
50.
Yeah.
There's 50.
Oh,
There's more.
These are big panels, and these are,
Yeah, they're.
Huge.
But you can do half of a panel of each.
Yeah, we
So
can.
it's not.
Some of them you can't because they're completely crushed. but
over
there's-
$100,000.
Yeah, it was 87,000 or something when I figured.
We've talked about this before. Did we not say we were gonna go after them?
Angel contact.
I asked you if we never
Never
done
done.
that. Okay.
So next step, I mean, assuming.
when did this
still
happen?
want
Do we know when the timeline of this happened?
We can find out the last time it happened. I got pictures of the lift on the sidewalk, I do believe, and stuff.
How long ago?
And then the time before that, we had all that information
know
and
where
stuff.
you're
That's when Brian was.
So,
We need to know when it happened.
because if it's past statute of limitations, it doesn't matter what we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus
so
they did it
if you
using
see
the
anybody
hospital.
out with a lift anywhere.
Hospital,
Since
Firehouse.
Yeah.
when they
They've been
replaced
looked
all
at.
that shrubbery in the hospital, they did the same thing on that curb. I know, cause I ride it. And they had all their heavy equipment and they cracked the.
Well, yeah, in front of the hospital, they were busting a lot of it, which is a ECD sidewalks. We had the hospital pay for it.
Yeah, they paid for all of that.
But yeah, if you see anything, just email Carrie, like Carrie, but so we can, I mean, we can't write a demand if we don't.
It's
see
past,
it.
it's, yeah,
I mean,
no, I get it.
We need to know right away so we can put
I think we should try one more time to get some money now.
how
I
we want to go.
had a conversation that didn't go well, so, when they were redoing all their sidewalks.
I mean, the worst they can say is no. I don't know why we didn't try it.
Sounds like they already said no, huh?
Yes, they already said no.
The other thing I have is, this is Raul Pavone. He's gonna join our staff here. He was at one of our other communities. He was a project manager in Tampa for a while. We're gonna add him to provide Russ and I a little more help, support in the field. To expand the sidewalk project, we're gonna need more help. We need
What-
more supervision.
And I heard at the last community, you were really, really good. A lot of good comments, so. It was good stuff, so I'm glad you're coming on board.
Thank you.
Where'd you hear that from? No.
Not you, Russ. You're too busy with your
These
beard.
people got figures all over.
I know too much.
How long you been with us? Years?
A year and almost 2 years now. In January, it's gonna be 2 years. Yeah. So
Good. That's all you have. District manager.
Wake up. Let them carry.
You're still on mute. Oh, well,
Or Hazel's online.
I don't have anything
okay.
particular.
Okay, so then good. So we get to go to the person we need to talk to. Legal counsel, Jan,
Yeah,
it's all
nobody
yours.
wants to talk to me.
I do want to talk to you. I just never do talk to you. Only at the meeting.
The other time I get problems when there's problems. I just asked our eminent domain council to just give us a little update since after that big parcel got taken away, nobody cares a whole lot because the parcels that are left are small and don't have a whole lot of value. But there are maps of 4 parcels that have been identified and are being appraised, as well as 3 other parcels. One's a fee simple, the other are easements. At this point, the appraisers are still out there. We don't have numbers, but these are coming. They're along I-4. You can see they're all tiny little parcels. But just thought you might want to know what's going on there. Just the status update.
And do we have a timeline or,
This is FDOT.
so nobody has any idea?
Dave wants his $5 million that he counted on last year.
Yeah, no, that one is long gone. These are very small parcels. They will,
Can you go out and maybe make them bigger? He'd do it.
Yeah. They will give us an appraisal and then it'll be a big rush because they supposedly moved up the timing on the I-4 expansion.
That's what I was kind of getting at.
But then everything stopped for like 6 months. I've heard nothing. So that's why I was asking like, hey, what's going on? And we've got parcels up all along I-4 and it's all going very slowly.
How did we do on the last round? I know we were trying to make sure all your costs, all Mark's costs, everybody else.
They repay them.
Okay, that's, and hadn't cleared that one out.
Yeah.
They didn't repay his costs though, so that's good.
Right.
They didn't want enough time.
That makes sense.
Let's see, on my list, update on county concerns. I have been unable to reach the county attorney, which is sort of odd because he normally is very helpful. When I talked to him, I guess before the last meeting, he was still looking to try to get input on the sign issue. Madame is pushing really hard because somebody in the plat review process is saying that the signs are in the CDD. Know where that came from and, you know,
What's on? I'm sorry.
apparently in the review of the plat, somebody commented, oh, the CDD has problems with the signage. We're gonna have an issue with the plat. So I asked the county attorney and he said, well, I asked Ray Stengel, you know, we need to talk about signs, but he said, other than that, we've had no comments.
What signs?
Street signs, I guess.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
That's all we have.
That's all I have. County attorney said, yeah, we mentioned we should talk signs, but we have no idea. Madam has no idea.
Well, Matabee will let us know whenever they find out, because they're gonna want the plaque recorded.
Yes, they do want it recorded. Mark gave comments. We're looking at it and Angel was checking. We have to look at the number of lots as well.
I don't think for stop signs,
We-
crosswalks and the regular stuff that we don't.
We don't care, but we do
I don't
need
think
it.
we get a say, do we?
We do need an interlocal, but
That-
we should have something because they don't have easements. So technically they don't have any rights. So if somebody got hit by a.
So we need an
sign,
interlocal
We should have some kind of interlocal.
But I don't want to get in the way of them.
No,
moving
absolutely,
forward.
absolutely not.
I mean, we can do that agreement, but I don't want that to be the.
No, I told him we had absolutely no input whatsoever on the signage on the plat. They need to do whatever they need to do.
Been doing it for 30 years. And
Yeah, it's. Other than that.
All right, so for your sign thing, what I'm picking up on is, hold on.
No, I'm not gonna stop you. I know what you're gonna say. I just wanted her to talk about that and we could do the
Yes.
sign.
It's segued.
And it sounds like they're trying to make it go away. If they're not responding to you,
No, I don't think so. I think they just get wrapped up in more immediate needs.
Well, this isn't going away. They gotta do phase two.
Yeah.
like, so, yes, but
Yes.
that's what what's the next step?
The next step is to send them an interlocal and say, this is what we want to have because we want some protection for your signage and that
Oh,
you know you're putting it on our property and.
do we already have one drafted up, or do you need to?
No,
start
I
working on
can,
this?
we can do it in an hour or two. That's not a big deal.
Okay, do you need us to tell you to do it, or is it something that's?
If the board would like us to draft something just to get them moving, we can do that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think so.
cool.
technically putting them up on Madden's property to begin with, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Turn it over to see.
yeah, it all says it's gonna come to us.
And then I read something about you want the green poles and all that.
You had,
Someone said,
That-
yeah, that's.
that was-
that's just in-
that was in, from the last meeting, we gave Dave a write-up of all the things we need to give the World Drive property. And one of
Already
the
done.
comments was, hey, you're gonna put it on our green poles and not charge us for those green poles.
Right.
Did you get that?
The new ones,
I
is
did
that
not.
the ones that get ran over? They come right here and
Did
get
I
a
not
pole.
copy you on that? Oh, the nerve.
That's quite all right. I have plenty of email, thank you. But
Angel, you got the copy of it that I sent to the county? With Jane's
Yes.
word?
And Mark helped on the planning issue, so that, yeah, well, we think we got everything covered there, but yeah, Angel, if you could forward it to me, because that would be good for me to shoot over to Frank Townsend too, just so.
Yeah,
because I
you're
think-
talking about the turn lane?
Yes,
Okay. Yep, I'll send it right now.
because we asked for some legal stuff, you know, we need legal and title of the property, and we can't just like give property away, and we have to show there's a reason and all that good stuff. We have to do all from turning things over. The Pro MOU, I had a good call with Pro's counsel. I think he misunderstood or just didn't quite get the feeling for what the MOU was. We had a very good call. He understood that we needed to make sure that, you know, things were basic standards, obeying law, that kind of stuff, and he was gonna come back with a draft very soon. They likely will not want to give an indemnification clause. I told them I'd bring that back to the board. Normally, as a government, we always want the other party to indemnify us. However, I thought the board might want to consider that since you're basically taking out of one pocket versus the other and for a CDD situation. So that's the only thing that he will ask for, I'm sure, that
Why, I hate to be a stickler, why would we agree to that?
have an agreement in writing for them agreeing to maintain according to ADA standards, laws, those kind of things. So if there's an insurance case, we can show that somebody else was obligated to do some of the work.
Guess so. If that's standard in our contracts, I don't know why we would alleviate that from it.
So I'm a little confused. So is he saying that he doesn't want,
He doesn't want Crowe to indemnify the CDD for the work. Should they negligently knock over 6 trees and drive over the CDD's property and crack things, they would have an obligation to reimburse us, but we would have to fight it out. If they agree to indemnify us, that gives us another count, another way of going after them for indemnifying us for our losses due to their obligations.
Help me understand from his perspective, why is this a reasonable ask other than just he wants less liability?
He wants,
Is there-
he wants less liability.
I didn't know if there was some other legal.
well, here's,
I
here's.
think he's- I mean, I think-
I understand.
I think some of it is, he said, some, we've been doing it for 20 years. Why do you care? I said, because we.
Because-
found out
because-
about it."
Topic is now come up.
The reason we care is because they arbitrarily decided to go ahead and change the rules without telling anybody, which was not right. And not only
We're
that,
budgeting for it.
the change of the rules wasn't correct because they had to go ahead and maintain it. The only thing I can think of is they tear down 6 trees. Guess what? They're responsible to replace them because it's gonna be around their park, around their area.
Not if we remove the indemnification clause.
Well, they will say we're not treating them the same as everyone else.
Well, we're not. Because no, we're not, because the agreement is not the same as anywhere else. It's
We don't
either
have an agreement anywhere else.
Yeah, we don't,
So I don't like removing it.
I don't like removing, I think that they have, I mean, if they run over 3 trees, they're gonna have to replace 3 trees.
okay, let me see what I
Be-
get, let me see what we get back.
You
and
know,
see
if we have a
can-
homeowner that kills a tree, we're going to the homeowner to replace it.
And the only difference between Crowe and homeowners, I don't have individual agreements between the CDD and every individual homeowner.
But due to the implied statement, they
I know, we're all in violent agreement here, yeah.
That's why I said I couldn't agree that that would be something that would have to come back to the board. Let me see what he comes back with and see if we can come up with other language for repair.
I mean, I hate to send it back and go back and forth on it,
Too, but it's,
but this, for me, is the most important agreement we can do here, because
think it's-
this really impacts us.
Well, but I'm also, and I'm in full agreement, but I'm also, give me a swag, how many hours have you spent on this? Well,
4 or 5, not a whole lot,
I just,
I know.
and
It's
I'm even looking on Crowe's side of the ledger, knowing that I pay into their dues, so now I'm paying 2 attorneys.
to be negotiating something that.
That for 30 years has worked, and now all of a sudden mysteriously.
Because
I got it.
the one
Yeah.
pseudo attorney decided like the
got it.
agreement was valid.
I just,
It's real.
and I appreciate you trying to get us to the end. At a certain point, I gotta jerk the chain back on this and say, we're not doing any more attorney stuff, guys. You know our position. Take the position, don't take the position. You can either sign it or you can not sign it. And if you don't sign it,
They're still responsible for it. That's
yeah,
that's the thing. They've always been responsible for it.
I don't,
We're just trying to get an agreement.
But they will, I mean, they will claim they're not responsible like they did and then not maintain and CD's property. So we have to go out and do it from a safety standpoint.
That's already happening.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue.
Listen, we need the agreement. And as much as I agree with this, we need to get this agreement and get this behind us. I agree with you. I don't like to spend a dime on this anymore, but this is just where we are.
homeowners are spending 2 dimes.
Where we are in the world with this
Yes, well,
one.
I hear you.
So
Yeah,
it's just,
I was totally surprised because I thought this was a pretty simple, bare bones.
and
you know what, the simple ones never.
Well, and their board, in layman's terms, agreed to this 4 months ago in their meeting and waved their arms and said, just whatever, just move ahead. So I'm befuddled. Continue, sorry.
Okay, we'll talk about being befuddled. We have the downtown sign.
By the way, I love insurance companies. Gotta tell you that right now. They're the best.
Oh, they certainly are.
That's what happened here.
Again, befuddled, they did not like having to indemnify us or take care of our property that they'd be crossing to
Right.
maintain or do something on the sign. Mark was kind enough to give a legal description of just enough
The
width
frontage.
that they could actually walk to the
Yeah,
site.
yeah.
And I took out everything I could possibly take out and shortened up the agreement, and it's gone back to Lex.
Yeah, their attorneys in New York make all their decisions.
So
That talk
Which
to Mike
makes-
Zudis.
This one I will very easily say, because we're not required to do this. I will make a motion right now. You don't spend another hour on this, and if they come back and they don't agree to what you just sent them,
well,
we're revoking the
we
deal.
already have a plan. So the plan is this. This is it. There are no other options. Number one. Number two, if they decline, it comes back to this board, decide, do we allow them use
Take it.
to go ahead? and put it in or not? I understand all the different things. I'm just saying, this is it. There is no more legal time.
I am making a formal motion right now that Jane does not spend any more time on this. If they do not agree to the last version that she sent, then we can formally notify them that this has been revoked. Thank you very much. And secondarily to my proposal would be staff removes the sign within the next 30 days, breaks it over, and we're done.
Okay, so now wait a minute on that. No, because that costs money. So we're not gonna do it on this budget for next 30 days.
But did
That's gonna have to wait.
did we have 5,000 on the budget to repair it?
Yeah, you guys approved that.
I think that's true, but I don't know if they calculated
I
this.
will amend my motion that
Eventually.
as of
eventually.
1 October or later date, that they would do that. So I will make that as a formal motion.
Okay, but just also keep in mind too.
Mhm.
It's not just Lexington attorneys that really, this was the issue. It was our insurance company, it was Lexington's insurance company.
Mhm.
They're the ones that just all of a sudden, they're getting very like that.
I'm
So,
not
I-
pointing fingers at whoever this was or wasn't. We're just,
I understand it. Nobody expected it to be like this.
Yeah.
So,
I'll make that motion.
I agree.
What was the motion? Everybody was talking.
The motion that Jan spends no more time on this, that all parties, not just Lexington, can accept her last proposal as it's been submitted to them. And if there is a rejection of the proposal, that Jan can put them on formal notice that the board is revoking the agreement that we had put out whenever it was a couple months ago. And then number two, at some point
After October.
after October 1st, at the earliest convenient time for staff, should step one happen, step two is pull the sign out, pave it over, and call us a day.
I second.
any discussion?
We're gonna have that meeting for October 1st, so.
Yeah.
Done there. Further comment.
Right. All in favor?
Bye.
Aye. Opposed? Well, good. The problem is there's no other avenue here.
No, we
There's
can.
no other avenue here. So okay.
Negotiate again with.
That's fine.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not.
So next one, e-bike flyer.
I had handed it out at a previous meeting, but I just, what some board members had not seen it, so I
It's
said,
in
let's
the-
put it in.
it's in the
newsletter,
back.
so everybody has it.
It's in the packet.
Okay, good.
For
Wanted
those who haven't read the package.
wanted to make sure that everybody got. it.
But I tell you, when I looked at it, I was very disappointed with it. Because it was not complete enough. Its summary, it should say only human powered vehicles allowed on the road. It doesn't really say that.
Doesn't.
It goes down there, it says consequences and violations. Well, it gives some typical ones, but it doesn't say anything about more than one person riding on an e-bike or scooter when they're not supposed to be. There's gaps in this whole thing.
That helmet is law for.
Well, there's also a requirement that there's a warning, a bell or a horn when you're passing somebody. There's all kinds of stuff that maybe not important in this, but it left a lot out there. Just discussed class 1, 2, and 3, which I didn't think was that important to know.
I agree.
I was more concerned with you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
Right.
Don't be on the sidewalk.
Well, and I'll do a secondary concern that I was sitting in a SAC meeting at the K-8 last night where the new school resource officer came in, very well intentioned, and spent 20 minutes talking about this, handed out the Orange County one instead of the Osceola County one, and then cited half of it wrong. So even the deputies that are out there are not 100% clear. By the time we ended up popping questions at him for 15 minutes, his response was, well, I think we're just gonna write tickets and we'll let the judge figure out what the law is.
Well,
And I've got, and I got, we're not law enforcement, but I've got real issues with the CDD funding details, which are doing.
well, our details should not be involved in this stuff at all.
Okay,
Our details are out there, right?
our details should not be involved in this stuff at all.
Okay, so,
Okay.
so,
What I'm saying, first off, the ticket, okay? 318 talks about what penalties, it's like $15. Nobody's gonna go to a judge for $15.
And regardless of who gets or who, because it's not our purview to write tickets or not. My point is, even after this, to your point, this is still not final, even though they think
It's not clear. I wouldn't pass this out to anybody.
Right. And B, there's no danger of that because they're still handing out the Orange County one. So I feel like every time we got 2 yards closer, we just moved 4 yards back.
To give them a little credit, this
Yeah,
is, this is new, so maybe they didn't have the
We got
latest detail,
something.
we just got something, so I
Yeah.
understand that, because there wasn't anything, but this is not helpful.
Well, and again, the other thing, I'm sure we all saw the Lesh article, there was other news story. I had questions there because the public information officer that was in the article, I'm sorry, in the interview, was saying specifically to sidewalks, this was not roads, this was sidewalks, that signage was required. Now, I don't know if she was talking about e-bikes or the, what do they call them, the pedal, or the pocket bikes, the ones with no pedal. The ones with no pedals, the way they classify them is those are basically like mopeds. Those have to be motorized and can only go on private property, nowhere else. E-bikes can be ridden, but under these Rubik's cube of conditions. My concern there is she just invoked, and maybe she misspoke, but I think there's clarification needed from the sheriff's office of, hey, your public thing you put out there, the community needs signage. Nobody from the sheriff's office has told us that in 2 years of us asking these questions.
You know,
I don't think I've seen anything on signage that.
I've mentioned signage probably 2 years ago, when I came across a bike path that actually had no e-bikes or no e-motors, whatever was allowed on the sidewalk. I've seen it.
Yeah, by the way, Claremont, when you go up there, right, guess what it says, exactly that, and when we're out
Claremont's
there
city.
riding, we're out in the Claremont Trail, that's what it says.
Well, the problem is,
Yeah.
all of our sidewalks are, I'd hate to put more signage out for sidewalks.
Yeah, I'm already.
I'm not suggesting we should put signage. My concern is
It
the
needs,
law enforcement agency now that just came out and made a big deal about this on the news is now
it
saying,
needs to be a blast. Well, Monday morning matters, no e-bikes on sidewalks. End of it. I don't need to say more.
but that's
So-
not even what the law says, Jack.
so,
E-bikes under power.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is no, unless it's human power, it's not allowed on the sidewalk.
so I don't think we're gonna be all clear
Mhm.
on what this should be, because number one, we don't enforce this.
Yep.
Okay, number two, correct me if I'm mistaken, but we can't direct,
No, we.
we can't direct our patrols or whatever on what they can and can't do. That was, I thought that was told. I understand what you're saying.
Well, we
I'm just saying we can't direct them.
we can't tell them, I want you to ticket this guy, we want you to ticket that. What we can do, we've always historically done is said, hey, we have had traffic issues or other issues in these particular areas, and we've absolutely used the CDD before to say, hey, when we had specific issues around school 3 years ago, 2 years ago, Halloween. We had told them as part of the deal, we were gonna use the on-duty details to do patrols around the schools, because that's where a lot of the kids were coming from. So that is, as I understand within our purview,
No, no.
was a general community
It's
thing.
a general
Correct.
area or
Well,
a general type. We just
you
can't
can
say you
enforce
can't
that.
do this or you can.
Right.
We did have one deputy actually write up some e-bikes or mopeds.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the only report I've ever seen.
Mhm.
But
I would,
force now.
I would love nothing more than for us to completely bow out of this conversation and have somebody tell us unequivocally, here's what the law is, here's what it means. But nobody seems to be driving this conversation to finality. To a logical finality that's clear. and
Well,
consistent.
I think number one, I don't know if it's tomorrow night or whenever they're meeting with Pro,
Mhm.
right? I think they're gonna have a lot of people from the community. They're gonna be telling the sheriff what they think about the e-bikes. Okay? And I think that message is gonna be very, very clear, because there's a lot of people not happy about it. Okay? And so that's one thing. And I do think we have to meet with the sheriff. You know, and if it's a workshop, I don't care what it is, we do have to meet with them to go ahead and say, look, we can't get past this. You know, as much as those flyer tells us half of this tells us everything we know. Got it. But it doesn't tell residents what you can and can't do. It's too vague.
It's not an actionable way.
No, it's just too many words. It's too vague. And, you know, again, at the end of the day, so what is law enforcement going to do? What can they do? Because I feel this just confirms that we're confused.
Well,
So
And I agree with you. And listen, at this point, after 2 years, I would absolutely encourage us to say we're gonna do a workshop or meeting or whatever, invite the sheriff's office. The other one I think we really need that is actually, the one thing we've heard is the inconsistency in the law is having the state house rep here. I think between the state house rep and the state senator, from the board's perspective, for Jan or management to contact them both and say, hey, number one, he was here. Have we given him feedback of very specific things in the law? Okay. Inconsistencies that we're seeing, number one, and number two, suggestions for what would be
Yes.
correct. I think that should also go to our state senator as well and have them both work on that. Because that's the county and the sheriff's department for 2 years.
First off, it's a Florida statute. Okay,
But they're
they
the
have the
ones
right.
who can change it.
They're the ones who can change, and that's what he said he was willing to look at. He's been here for.
Then they're,
Then they need to define it.
But I
so
think,
this is happening everywhere. This is not just because.
I agree with you, but I think we've had enough information here to know what we think right looks like, or at least where the problems and the gaps are, to have Jan articulate that in the letter, I think, and it needs to be very detailed for them, because he's not gonna.
No, he needs to know
Yeah.
exactly that we're public, we own things, but we're not city or county, so we don't quite fit into some of the requirements under
Mhm.
318. And then just the sidewalks are the issue.
Yeah.
What can and can't be.
So, Jack, to your point of doing a workshop or a meeting, brother, I'd be all for it if we could get everything.
I said that, but it's.
Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry, Tom.
No, but I don't, because I think we've exhausted our county and our sheriff. To the point that I don't think it's gonna be very beneficial spending more time with them.
Well, we
I
haven't,
think-
wait a minute, hold on, we haven't met the sheriff. The other sheriff ignored us.
Well, that's what we got from the sheriff. For, as
Well,
far as I'm concerned, the sheriff did
Yeah,
answer
he's
us
gonna
and give
leave
us
to
that.
his legal counsel as to how.
Well, that's fine, and if this is all it is, that's all we can do.
I agree. I think it's at the state level, and if there's something that you could put forward that an official correspondence from us requesting resolution from the state legislature on this item, that'd be great.
And I would copy the sheriff's council, I would copy the county council, I mean, I would put everybody on that thing. Just to have them know from a town perspective, this is the gaps and issues, because I think that's part of it. It even came up in the SAC meeting yesterday at the schools, what's their, and again, that's not for us, but they're obviously a piece of this here. I think everybody needs to get put on that, just to see what the reaction to contact is.
That's it for me.
Okay, fine.
Finally.
Well, you took a lot.
I know. Engineering report.
Hold on.
What? There's me.
I sent you stuff. You only get one, you only get
No, no,
one email.
what are you talking about? If you have anything else, no, we're on discussion item.
Legal counsel?
Legal counsel.
I've got items for legal counsel. You wanna do it now? You wanna do it later?
We're gonna,
We've been doing it.
we've already done, this is her stuff.
Yes.
If you have other items, you gotta wait your turn.
Leaving it to you there.
Well, how many
Chairman.
items do you have?
Two.
Been done with them by now.
I know, but he's shut me down.
All right, go finish your 2 items. Let's see if they're valid.
They are because we've been
Half
talking about.
years are never valid, so go ahead. I'm waiting.
Where are we with permit analysis? Because
The permit of
the,
the water management district.
Yes.
It's in my hands now. Yeah, I'm a
Right,
little slow.
one point for me.
I'm a little slow on that.
Lastly,
This is where it goes downhill.
Yeah.
now, lastly.
Until they've talked.
We all feel like that.
Lastly is, we were waiting on ECD bond council.
Yeah, Angel, yeah, or CDD council. Angel, has Sarah Sandy come up with any good reason to stop an interlocal for funding?
Yeah, we have to draft the interlocal and send it to her. She's gonna review it next week.
Does that mean she's okay for it? I don't
It's,
draft something if she's not going to agree to it.
yeah, I mean, we talked preliminary what we wanted to see in it. And so far, there's no dispute on that.
Okay, good.
So you're drafting, sending to them, or they're drafting, sending to us?
Drafting and reading.
All right, have fun.
So you think we'd have that wrapped up by next board meeting?
By your September meeting?
Angel, you wanna take that one or I want? to?
Yes,
I know the answer, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
By the September meeting? No, it's more like October meeting. We have some board concerns on ECDD. We're getting 2 new board members. One for sure, and we're working through the other one because he does not come to meetings. So we're trying to get 2 new board members. Dave, you're laughing. Do you know who it is?
I do.
Okay.
I want to be on the
So-
board where I can run, but say I don't want to go to meetings.
Just not show up.
Yeah, we're trying to work through that. So we'll have the new board member in place at the September meeting. So then we can finalize all this and then we can present it to you at your October meeting.
I'm trying to get you a draft on the next quick time.
That's fine.
You don't have like one more thing?
I hope there's just.
I got one more thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Either
actually
Lee-
have something for Jan when Greg's done.
You go first, ma'am.
It's just really quick. And then Jan, I don't know if we can do anything about it, but I've gotten several calls. I don't know if Carrie has gotten any or any office staff. They may be able to tell you. Apparently on the CROA budget, there's a line item that says CDD tree fee or something to that effect. And it's representing or it's causing some confusion that that is a CDD fee. And it's not. Obviously, we don't collect any fees. We never have, never will. So I'm not sure how we address that, but apparently it is on the budget. And so I don't know if we need to discuss that offline or if we can even approach them or say anything about it. But Carrie, have you gotten any calls
why does
in
it
the
matter?
office?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
Well,
They're misrepresenting us.
So as to save our lawyers' time, I'll happily bring that up with the Grow
Yeah.
management team and say, hey, guys, this is, I believe, this is for the service areas where they're charging the service areas extra fees because of the 2 years ago, 3 years ago decision by us as far as what we were and we're not gonna do as far as maintaining trees and service areas. We're not getting charged extra in order to do, so it's not a CDD tree
They're
fee.
trying
It's
to blame
simply
the CDD. for
Yeah.
it.
they're trying to create some optics that, hey, we're only doing this because the CDD forced us to. So I will happily bring that up with management, whether they take it out or not. Well, they're at least gonna raise it to them.
I think
Yeah.
because the perception is that it's our fee.
That's-
And we
That-
have received-
we don't have fees.
That's correct. So whether they change it or not, Jan, is there something we can put out? I don't know if that means on our website or something, letting everyone know that that is not a CDD fee. Because we are getting calls. I would presume we're probably going to get more calls about it, but just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I almost think put it on the website, it'll make more people look at it.
Yeah.
Who really? I mean.
I can guess 5 of the people that are doing this.
No, they're fighting it. They know it's false. They're mad at management for this.
I think the best thing I could probably do is I will bring it up publicly at a Crow meeting because the people that
Yes.
are complaining are sitting in the Crow meeting and they can hear it firsthand from me. And if Crow throws daggers at me, that's fine.
Okay.
Other solution.
The status of back to the sheriff, the quotes with full-time deputy and all that stuff, where are we at with? Any quotes for anything?
We have their fees that they're charging for the details. There's been no quote. The lady, when we were talking to her, she wanted to wait until the new sheriff was settled before she could approach and see if that was something they would even be able to entertain, which was a permanent person. So that's where we're
Angel,
at.
the name that I gave you, had you made contact with him?
That's the one I spoke to. His name is,
Angel
or
Guevara.
hold on. 'Cause I wrote everything down when we spoke. Yeah, Alan Guevara.
Alex Guevara.
Oh, Alex, sorry. I don't know how to say the last name, but I have not gotten a return call. And then I spoke to the lady who we scheduled details with. And she said if we let them all get settled in and then circle back with her, probably early September, mid-September, she thought she would be able to have an answer for me at that point.
Okay. So
Do
just
you
so
have
you know,
something different?
well, no, Alex Guevara is a major. He's a direct report to the sheriff. So
Okay.
if you're not getting it from staff, he's now the head of patrol. So I would do the do not pass go. We've been waiting on this one a while.
Okay.
Did you have something else? I thought you said you had a few things.
Not for legal. No. Okay. Thank you.
All right, moving on to engineering report.
So you got my monthly report and
Yes.
agenda.
decent length, just a number of items on there, a lot to do with Island Village. Next coming up on the agenda is the bridge turnover. We have done a lot of walks and we are satisfied with everything they've done out there, so that'll be coming up here shortly. We've done some walks on phase 2 with the concrete flat work, really, and that's really just relieving SDC, the contractor, from mad at me for any future damage to the home building side, because it's surely going to cause. Dealing with the Lex and stuff and Celebration Boulevard and the plating. If you have any questions on any of these items, I'll be glad to answer them.
What's the reference in 13 to correspondence with Kinley Horn?
They had called, so that was the guy that you called, you, Russ, and I reached out to Eric. Let him know, I guess they were working on a new project on the boulevard, but I never saw any plans. They said they sent them to me.
Yeah, we haven't seen any plans of putting a 4-story hotel up right there.
Yeah.
At the end of water.
So just initial correspondence, hey, we're the contact, or at least I am, well, sure, whatever I get.
Say hotel, I don't know, first floor building.
I haven't got any details on exactly. what it is.
Homewood Suites or something?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Just what we need, another hotel.
Oh, they're already underway. Working on it.
I'll be bringing up bridge questions later, since that's a formal thing.
Yeah, that's an action item.
Got it. Only other question I had for you, Mark, was last we had talked, I think 2 months ago, we had identified and cleared all the pond ownership issues except for the Croa one at the corner back behind, right at the corner of 417 there. Has there been any progress? Because I thought you two were still.
No, we're still, that's something I'm still working on. It's a list about this long.
Okay.
Mark went back through with Kerry to figure out who's maintaining which sides of some of the lakes that have ownership on different sides.
Okay.
And now it's back with me because Mark pulled the permits.
Make progress.
We'll set a call and we go through it, maybe for you one more time. This.
No more. I've got a prior note that we were expecting to hear a presentation from Pond Slope vendor at some point.
Yes, I think we were shooting for September, October. Since we haven't budgeted any dollars, do we still want to bring them in?
Well, I would suggest we get through the pond list and see what we have, what we're maintaining, and maybe which ones are the worst. Because then you have specific questions as to the ponds that you need to deal with and how quickly.
I don't remember the presentation from a pond slope. Was this like where we get like multiple vendors coming in and?
It was just one.
Quoting?
There was one that I've been dealing with, it's actually out of state, but they are in Florida a lot. So I was just coordinating with them they were just gonna do a kind of a typical presentation on how they, when they make repairs, how they make the repairs, some budgetary costs.
I mean,
Chance for you to answer any
this would be
questions.
more an informational thing because
Yes.
given the size of this, we'd absolutely have to go up.
You're right, no, but I think it's to educate the board and we do
Yeah.
all the steps and then pros and cons and things I gotta be careful about.
Yep, okay.
All right, so we'll wait till when you're done.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to kind of look at what the scope is before you talk to somebody.
Right, well,
Feel for.
could then I'll be add more questions to what we have, so. Anything else? Okay. Thank you. Business matters, I can't believe it.
We
Celebrate.
got the liaison.
Oh, liaison.
Michelle's got a big report.
Oh, Sean. There you go.
Wow, singer from Jazz.
We don't have the time. Anyone have any reports? Cause I know you have a lot of stuff now you're taking to them, so we're waiting for that. We're probably more.
Next meeting you will have an earful, I'm sure.
And yeah, you heard a brief reference, but corresponding with the county transportation on the improvements at World Drive and Celebration Boulevard. And so I sent them 2 correspondence, one with your stuff and then second one with your stuff.
Okay, good. Okay, now we're on to
Business matters, celebration boat extension lighting
yes,
fans.
this is resolution 2025-14, and this would approve a bill of sale transferring of bridge lights. Finally, just let me finish up the Celebration Boulevard extension turnover, completely release the bond that's still been sitting out there. I know you've done a ton of work getting that there.
Yes,
Our documents are the same forms that we've used before. Mark signed a certificate of engineer. Land Use Council has not come back with any comments yet, so that's why I qualify in substantially final form in case they come back with some tweaks that Tom could approve or back to the board, but I don't expect anything because we've used these for about 3 years with them.
Well, I'm just happy those lights are fixed, because that was very scary.
Yeah,
Financial ability.
they did the right thing. They got it done.
Yeah.
You know, they redid it all, a lot of money.
Still say they need to pay us, right?
I moved it through resolution 2025-14.
Right, do I have a second?
Second.
I did have questions, just it does reference above warranties, but I didn't see details on what is the warranty.
That's our general, we ask for any warranties, any materials, is there anything else you're getting with that, or have you
I
got?
don't know why it's already over a year old. Electric's no problem.
Well, that's my point is,
Fine.
we should be getting, because this has been so delayed, if there are any warranties on original parts that were for a year, we should be getting a warranty from them that starts from the day that we sign this.
That's-
Bulb.
Yeah, no, it's usually a
I don't know what
manufacturer's warranty. When you say they're gonna turn over warranties, it's the
Right.
manufacturer, whatever
Because
else they
they-
can assign to us.
Well, but I guess my point is, if that stuff has been up there for years, the warranties are expired.
Yes.
So it's not reasonable for us to expect. any
There's no warranty on the street light.
I guess I'm more worried warranties on the work.
I just, well, that's being guaranteed.
That's why we.
Other than the fact it's all brand new now, we should be happy about that.
Use on this one.
I think,
Yeah,
I think.
Okay.
They've done a lot of work.
I'm not looking to bust chops, it's just because it's been so delayed, things we ordinarily would have been conveyed have all. Since
I get it. They went, they did the work.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, United Land Services proposal 176711. I think this is for Island Village.
Install.
Why do we bring Bradford to Harrisdale?
Phase two maintenance, maybe? I don't know.
What is this?
I did.
Number, this is B. Yeah. Carrie, do you know what this is?
You know, I've got a Bradford here in my backyard. I don't understand why you want to bring it down here.
They're not good trees.
They're not.
They're not.
Fast forwards are weak wooded.
All right, hold on.
So are we removing this from the agenda? That's what I'm guessing is what this is.
Yeah, is anyone from United on here?
Like I said, they want to remove these and put them with Drake Elms. Okay, so
Sweet, but no.
For field staff.
Yeah,
doesn't
this
know
was
why.
sent to Mana for the agenda. I'm not sure why it was on there.
All right, let's remove it until next time. I don't think it's urgent. It's,
Was there a request for a Bradford repair? I remember we talked to you about that.
What's that?
Did somebody request replacing a Bradford?
majority of the cars.
Oh, Bradford Bears.
Yeah.
We got a proposal, one died and it's on, Jeter Crescent.
That's what this is, so.
$5,000 or $6,000 for one tree. $8,000 total.
Total.
I don't know what we do there.
Wait a minute, so
Number one, the Bradford pears are not a very good tree to plant in Central Florida. We got two places where you can visit them, out there and
yeah, but
Croton.
this is Jeter Crescent.
Yes,
Is there any other Bradford pears there?
yes. Otherwise, there would be no problem. We pop something else in. You're gonna have Bradford pear, if I'm not mistaken, Bradford pear. The dead one, Bradford pear, Bradford pear.
Okay, so the other thing is,
There are
I
two other
thought,
Bradford pairs just next to it.
okay, so my understanding was. This, when we had discussion before, is that each of the streets, the trees that are on there were approved by the county. That you just can't replace those types. Okay,
I don't think the county.
you told me this, so.
Say that again?
So depending on the tree it is, the
Landscape plan.
the landscape plan is already approved by the county. So these are the trees on these streets. These are not things we can arbitrarily go in and.
That's not what I said.
Okay, so we can change anything we want.
I don't see why you can't, as long as it's a canopy tree.
They,
I don't see why
they,
need
they,
to see anything.
the county cares about, they count street trees.
Trees is
They
I consistently heard what you've heard.
I don't agree with that. There is,
They may be wrong, but that's.
And there is a plan that had, and there's some areas where they couldn't remove some of the trees before. They had to go through the county. It took many years to do. And I know that's the cypress, but there was some other areas like that.
We didn't,
And
know
we
that.
talked about-
We didn't even involve the
Do
county.
you remember when the sycamore fell during the hurricane and we had all the sycamores there? And then we had the proposal to come in and go ahead and there's some homeowners that said, I wanted a different tree. And then we went back and did the research and the message to the homeowner was, we cannot switch out the trees because the county has approved all these trees and plants that we're supposed to go ahead and do. So we can't do it. So we're putting another sycamore there.
I don't know.
That
where
was
we're
the
getting
instance.
that Information.
It was at this meeting.
I've heard that in multiple meetings.
I don't think that's an accurate statement.
That,
That it's not having.
Once a landscape plan is approved, doesn't that mean
It's,
you have? it
landscape plan doesn't just count trees, correct? It tells.
Hopefully tells the type.
Russ, you've got the landscape plan.
Got landscape plans for everything on here.
Yeah. Does it show Bradford Pears there?
It does.
Yeah.
But that's not.
That doesn't mean we can't go in there and cut them all down and put elm trees in.
So it's from the
The
standard.
county's not gonna say anything.
it's not the land, but the problem is,
We just
that's
told
not
home-
how it works.
We just told homeowners a couple years ago, we're not gonna switch.
Not only that,
Yeah.
okay, it's called precedence.
Yeah.
And so when you start allowing, if a tree goes down, oh, you know what, I don't want an oak tree in front of my home, I want a Drake elm. Oh, I don't want it because now
That's
you've
different.
established precedence to go ahead and change
That's
the.
different, but do not put it on the county that there's a county requirement for a particular tree.
I've heard that
Okay.
as well.
I mean,
That's different. So if we as,
I'm not putting it on the county. I was told that.
I
We were told that.
don't think that's accurate.
Who's we? We need to
The
get down to the
board.
bottom of
The
it.
board, we were told this in a meeting. Well, that was the justification of declining the replacement of the Drake elm.
There's a approved landscape plan.
I'll look for the
Technically
minutes.
Approved landscape plan.
That's right.
forever.
That's right, good confirmation.
That does not lock in a landscape for that. It's simply when you put in a plan for the county, they say, all right, that's what you want to put in there. And for that snapshot in time, they will go out there and say, all right, you built this per plan. Or they say, you didn't build this per
I
plan.
want my 2 trees in front of this house.
All
Not
they
saying
really-
what kind.
Yes, there are ordinances in the code in regards to street trees.
Okay, so number one, we need to get that clarified, because clearly.
Yes, absolutely.
Number two, I'm not in support at all of us putting in a tree and having that tree be inconsistent, because we're not gonna put in this, we gotta put in something.
Mhm.
I don't think there's any dispute that there needs to be a tree there.
I agree.
And unless we were willing to approve this, which I'm not really ready to do that.
No, I'm not either.
I certainly don't want to have pear, cherry, pear.
No. That's inconsistent with
It's gonna
a
look goofy.
lot of things in celebration.
What's the aversion against the pear trees?
That's for ours, we wooded.
They're weak.
They
They're
look-
weak trees.
Yeah.
White plan.
Yeah. You don't look very good to start with.
So let me ask you this, where,
There is a variety called Chanticleer that is better than the Bradford that looks similar to the Bradford, which you might be able to pop in there, but I don't know if you can get them.
How many Bradford pears are there on that street?
4.
There's,
I'm sorry,
I think, probably
Look at
12, maybe.
Google Maps, there's 3.
There's more than 3. And there's some on the other side of the street.
Carrie, how much does it
Three.
cost to put an oak tree
Greg,
versus?
yeah, it looks like 3. 1,
Yeah, put an oak. In that circle, there's 3.
a big 3.
Same, yeah.
1, 2.
No, we're talking about 200,000 acres, 8,000, I can put 4 of them in
That
there.
guy.
But you pull it, all the 4 of the street.
Have we already removed the?
There's more than 3 Bradford pears in that area.
Well,
Well,
just on
just-
the.
Circle line in the circle.
Ooh, this
It's
is.
not in the circle, it's on.
It's on the
It's on-
outside.
it-
That's what
yeah,
I'm
it's
saying.
on
Other
G.
perimeter, there's only 3.
Yeah.
Now, if there's some more going
There's only 3 on both sides of the road.
No, we're saying 3 just in the crescent
on
line.
the other side of the road in the circle.
I got one in my backyard.
Yeah, there's several
You
more.
did oak trees.
All right, well, I always equate this to Spring Park Loop, because Spring Park Loop
Yeah.
had bad trees in it, they got blown down and eventually.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so we found out that's the bad tree, we need a different tree. Right, we have that ability.
Yeah.
no, I don't disagree with that, but I think like you say, we did it with the Drake elm. Let's go ahead and find, if there's certain trees that are variants of it, maybe we look at that. I just don't think we have a plan here.
But also on Spring Park, to the point, we changed, not for aesthetic purposes, but for safety purposes, because all these friggin' things were getting blown over.
Yeah.
If you're telling me there's a safety concern with these, and I'm not having a conversation about one, I'm having a conversation at least about all 3 that I'm seeing in here, never mind if he says there's 12,
Correct.
then we're having a conversation about 12.
Yeah, but these aren't ones that are getting blown over, they just look there, or are they getting blown over?
They're just deteriorating slowly.
Okay, but it's not a safety issue.
No.
Okay, then it's an aesthetic issue.
Is it dying or what happened to it?
But half the time they look just about good. That one particular one died.
Why in the world is it a 7? All right.
Because of freight.
It's
They
freight,
got a
yeah.
freight that
It's
they
not
from
like you can
North
get them
Carolina.
around here. So,
It's all,
yeah.
it's
That's what
probably
it
that's
is.
freight. It's not-
So I propose we table this, let's do a little more research, find out how many trees we're talking about. I'm not my plan to go ahead and replace them all, but let's just get some
Well,
options here.
And I agree with you, but specifically, what are we asking? Because on that street, I'm only seeing 3, so we've answered that question. If there's more around the corner on Jeter Bend, which is a different street, that's a different thing. Right. So are we talking about, if we're just talking about those 3, then what are we asking staff specifically? Because we're gonna get back.
I think we want staff a recommendation. Is the recommendation to approve this for one tree?
No,
I just know.
But then is the
But we did ask for the
recommendation,
quote, so.
but is the recommendation to maybe replace all those trees with 3 or 4 other trees?
And what would those
That we can just,
And you may be able to replace them all for that same cost.
You probably can if they're.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean.
Well, we're gonna replace the 3 for half the price. Is elm trees.
I think
Well,
we have an
that's the-
opportunity here.
That's what I'm saying, and I would more like that.
Replace 3 for the cost of 1.
Yeah. We'll look at it and then we'll just update it the next meeting.
Okay. It's a good discussion, because this is just,
This pops up every 6 months.
I get it.
And we're gonna have to, I'll say it now, we're gonna have to have a conversation with the people around those houses. To tell them, hey, guys, we're pulling out 2 very good trees that are
Well-
alive.
They're alive, let's put it that way.
There's seasons coming up, let's put it that way.
Best trees ever.
Okay, let's move on to C, railing proposals.
Big dollar difference in these two.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 name.
Yes.
Huh? For those 2, Anchor Structural Design Build and Sunbelt Nuggets.
Sunbelt Metal, have you seen their product? Is it?
They're the ones that do all the repairs on the railings for the last 15 years out here.
So they know what we expect.
Yes.
Anchor is? Who is?
No,
The other one, say.
Is Anchor doing the install like an Island Village stove?
Yeah.
Is there any difference in the proposals that we,
Oh, price.
maybe besides price?
So,
There's gotta be.
35% price
You
difference from
can't,
this.
it's gotta be a scope issue.
Linear footage is.
The problem is.
We gave them all that.
Yeah, but you gotta get them to level load these bids. They stick in here railing with a description that's 2 sentences and the other guy broke it down. There's something missing here.
I mean, you got 568 linear feet on the cheaper bid and only 536 linear feet on the more expensive bid.
Well, still not.
so, on the,
I'd ask for a sample of the products, what they're gonna use.
Right. The thickness of the aluminum.
also on
Okay.
Sunbelt Metals.
They don't quantify anything on here.
Sunbelt doesn't.
Well,
Anchor structure.
they are the same company that we've used all along. Is that correct?
Have we ever had any,
When we get damaged railing, yes.
have we ever had any issues, complaints, concerns, poor workmanship?
And
We
the,
wouldn't use them more than once if.
No, I just want it on the record.
no, and every damage we've had, it's been addressed. I mean, like, you can't tell the difference.
I move to approve Sunbelt Reynolds.
I second. I mean, if we want to condition it, that staff goes out and does a review to make sure, hey, reasonably, this is identical, I'm fine with that, but I don't want to punt this for another month.
Not for 60,000 or more.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a first and a second.
And I would ask that staff go out and, hey, turn the screws to them, make sure that this is the same type and everything else.
They're not doing the permits. They're not doing the supports or fasteners. They're not doing the surveys. They're not doing any barricades. They're not doing any saw cutting and concrete removal. Like, I don't know. I'd like.
There is no concrete.
Just what are the exclusions and what are they saying? And have we seen the product? And
And how are they not getting permits for this?
I don't know. I don't get that. No, are they asking?
No, they didn't, no,
Expecting
that's
us-
not what they said.
That's
No, they didn't say they're not getting exclusion. That's the exclusion. Do we have to get the permits?
Something's got.
Do we have to pay for the permits?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's the whole.
That's $60,000 price difference?
No.
Staff, can you please get the permits?
Fast fence companies pull their own permits.
But not always.
That
That,
building permit that they'll submit for includes wind loads and all that stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to get involved.
no, we don't, and that's the problem. You're gonna all of a sudden sit there and take 10 grand on it, and that's why if. Russ, I'm not telling you how to do your work, but when you send out the scope, that you've got to tell them exactly how you see it, so we can level load and go, cause right now I have no idea what their bid says for 192.
Well, the problem-
It might be accurate.
And on the anchor one, they don't give any detail, all of them, just.
It's just,
how many
it's too loose.
Okay. Is the only, to the concern of the exclusions, is the only major concern of the exclusions, the permitting.
I just don't know the scope
Is
of
it
it.
accessible? Because it says, isn't it a huge drop?
Well, and Mark, have you looked over the exclusions?
Yeah, they can access it from, the road, that's the. they'll be able to-
But then do they need an MOT? Because they're saying they're not gonna do barricades.
Right.
So let me ask you, before we move further, I want to ask this question. When would they start doing this? Let's say we approved it today. I'm not saying we are, but let's say we approved it today. When would they start? Because here's my concern. I'm okay. I know you don't want to punt it another month, okay? But the problem is that they're gonna be working on both sides of that street. They'll start on one side and do the other, right? Around 851, correct? So what happens around those areas? School starts, school ends.
Block the sidewalk off one side,
So,
just like if we were replacing sidewalk to house.
no, I understand that. I understand that. But how long would it take them to do this?
No, I didn't have to get a hold of them.
Again, a whole lot.
Unless.
The reason
Need duration, need.
I understand that, but the reason I ask is that if they go ahead and say, listen, this is gonna go ahead and take 3 weeks to do. That's Christmas time. There's no interference of people walking back and forth. That's all I'm asking.
We can ask them to have.
If they say, listen, this is gonna be a multi, whatever, then it doesn't matter when they do it. It's gonna inconvenience people and we just deal with it. I'm just trying to play that game to see that.
And we, I mean, I'm happy to give Russ all the questions I'd have and then go back and forth, and as long as it's in that dollar amount. Can move forward,
Just give it a conditional approval or do you? want-
conditional approval pending,
Answers to those.
cause I,
things?
I can't give an approval with the data we have here, I don't have any idea, there's not enough detail.
No, and I do have a, with the permits and stuff, it'd just be interesting to. And some of the stuff too, this general exclusions, this is probably like standard stuff like deck removal, doesn't apply to us.
Yeah,
Right, there's just stuff that's thrown in there.
Maybe they're just not paying attention, I don't know.
On the first one, Mark, it says cost, one of the exclusions is cost of testing, inspection, any type of engineering bid or performance bond. I mean,
There's no.
not worried about the performance bond, but it's, I mean, you would do some testing afterwards as just general.
We would just look at it, it's really.
Shake the eligible.
Yeah, there's your, Russ is gonna run into it, I mean, that's.
Just it's in wetland area and all that kind of stuff. I just want to make sure that their exclusion of them testing it, we would go out there and do something reasonable.
Expected wells and.
Yeah, it's not really any soil testing or anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's kind of testing the fence company.
There's no.
They do.
No.
So they're,
Are the posts the same? The posts the same and doesn't say anything.
It's just there's no details, so you
Plus-
don't know.
They're excluding permits. I'm feeling that we want them to do the permit. They're excluding barricades, but we want them to do barricades because they're being blocking off the
Yeah.
sidewalks.
And it's their schedule.
So we're gonna get a price that's higher than this, and we can't conditionally approve this because we don't know what the final price is gonna be.
Well, but we can also, the intent, I mean. We can probably squeeze them a little bit. It's not, why they're not doing the permits kind of foolish. This is our space.
So are you guys suggesting you just want to shoot down altogether or do you want to do a conditional approval?
I don't see how you can.
I agree with David, it's probably gonna be materially different, so you're just kicking the can. You don't have enough to.
I don't see the rush. We've kicked this can for.
I don't either.
all right.
Actually, for about 4 years. So we were gonna do it with white PVC fence and I.
I'll send you some.
Yeah, you want to.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. If you can send some stuff forward, right, and you can work with Russ on this, okay? I'll let Russ run with it. I don't really care, but what's the expectation then for, are we looking at voting at the next meeting? Let's get into the answers.
Yeah.
We'll get a revised proposal.
Yeah, it's not gonna be, this isn't hard.
All right.
And I think you reach out to both of them,
Yeah.
whatever scope you send us, so.
Or do you wanna do if it's not gonna cost anymore, and we're okay
It'd
with.
be okay, if it's no more than a 5% delta.
I'd be okay amending it to do a 10% overage for whatever considerations you guys.
I agree. And we'll manage to that. So I do that.
Okay.
Right, so
Additional 10% over.
amend it to, yeah, pending board considerations or within reason to have a 10% overage on their price to go ahead and approve it.
We'll try to get a 10% leverage.
Between Russ and I will get them.
So do I have a motion?
Second, yeah.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed, but
Dave's opposed. Dave's opposed. He's grumpy now because he's on.
Russ, you want to talk about the railing downtown and why that's not replaced?
So the light poles around the lake and the post where you got the metal railing around the lake,
Late render,
they're not gonna
Yes.
make those for us anymore.
same company.
The hell's the name of the company?
That's not.
Street Lights, I think, it's something like that.
Yeah.
Well, could Sun Mountain go?
So he's going to see if he can get the aggregate, at least maybe from them, and he's gonna try to make his own little 5 foot.
Yeah.
It's a concrete supposed.
Oh.
Do we have current things that are broken that need to get replaced immediately or what's?
Where the van went through down by the hotel, it's still.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And now it's got orange.
So after all this time, they decided to.
Oh, he's been, told me it was like April.
Yeah.
7th was the first contact with them. Oh, yeah. I phone calls, finally emailed. Was it Friday or?
Yeah, because I asked you about once a week.
We're not gonna do it.
Cause it's,
And for insurance purposes, as long as we're documenting it correctly, hey, we reasonably tried and they said no, then we gotta go to plan B. So whatever plan B is.
It really sucks because they're gonna look different.
They're gonna look different.
No way, they're gonna
The
look
thing is, it's,
I know, but it's just.
I'm just saying.
But we really need something there.
Yes.
Well, we have to, absolutely. We need something permanent there.
Corrects and construction fence now.
Yeah, okay.
doesn't look very good.
Unless we want to replace a whole.
How about with the?
Okay,
the pear
We could do that.
Yeah.
Use the trees.
so I think we're doing business managers.
Jan and I would say free.
We're moving on to discussion items. Dave's favorites.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Jack, I'll start with you. Nothing. I don't have anything.
I will condense all of my comments to say that on the running task list, there's a lot of dates of 9/1, which is in 5 days.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're all gonna be done in 5 days?
On Labor Day.
On Labor Day. All right, so this is not really the intent here. We're looking for realistic expectations on this task list.
Is that Julian?
That's my.
Thank you.
I actually looked at that today when I came back, so.
And then you went to lunch.
And then he went.
I can't comment on something that's not updated. So go ahead.
I'm good.
Okay. Other business updates and supervisor comments? Apparently we don't have any. Anybody else have anything?
Yep, I got one thing.
Yep.
Your gate up in North Village. Found the culprit. We had video and they are paying for it.
Wow, good job.
Were you sitting in the bushes with the camera? Fill the blanks, your brother.
Has it on video.
Oh,
Nice.
cool. Good job.
Who was it?
I think I identified them.
Jesus. Jack. All right, so on that note, I do have one thing. Coming down Greenbrier, there's that green metal fence near the school where the parking spots are in. And I saw a guy hit once, right? Now it's got hit again in a different spot. So somebody is whacking that fence and
Which one is it?
Think it's
It
maybe.
was between the pond and the bus loop?
yeah, the round tube on top.
And
And
then
you
you
can,
jump the sidewalk to hit it. Or are you talking about like with the bike?
yes, you would have to, something is big enough to,
Probably someone backing in with a truck.
that's probably what it is, but it's the second time.
It's not our fence.
It's not our fence?
No, It's
Oh,
county.
okay, never mind.
There you go.
No further comment?
Russ, the one hit it.
All right, public comment period. Anyone online? No? Oh, yes, sir.
Gary Husband, 14 Savannah, Arizona Street. My experience with Bradford pears in less than a minute. In the 1970s and 80s, the city of Virginia Beach, where I lived for over 30 years, planted hundreds of them in the medians of boulevards and along the sides of the street. After several decades of this weak-limbed tree blowing over in every windstorm or breaking off branches and leaving like a third or half of a tree, and then plus snow on top of that in Virginia, the city decided to quit planting them altogether in the early 2000s. And as they either died or broke as windstorms, they just removed them. So they just got rid of most of them over time.
Yeah.
Did you get any pears out of them at least?
No,
it
does.
Lose fruit. It just looks good in the spring.
It's a
Flower for
relative.
about 3 days.
It's a relative.
For about 2 weeks in the spring, it looked like cherry blossom trees.
To the best of my knowledge, is Jeter Bend and Jeter Court or Circle or whatever that is, are those the only places?
No.
With Bradford's?
Croton. Croton, there's a park, little park there, there's quite a few of them. Actually, at one time, the board had approved to get all those replaced, but it didn't happen.
We didn't give you money to do anything?
Yes.
Okay. If you can.
Sounds like the state.
If you can add that to the list of when you review, I'd just like to know a total count of all these, because
It's gonna hit us at some point.
if, I would like to at least be able to have an educated conversation if we're gonna replace one, because these are untenable trees and it's just no one else is
I'm
lost.
surprised they stayed up, but
Well, I was gonna say untenable.
They're just-
For how many years?
If you go look at them,
Yeah.
they're just kind of sort of
they go in my
slowly
backyard.
deteriorate.
We're not replacing that one.
No,
So that you know that.
They kind of look like, a word I don't want to say here at the meeting.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
on that note, motion to adjourn?
I'm gonna adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, guys.
It's 6:30.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Good question.
Gary, is it a problem? Am I like hallucinating?
It's board meeting.
It is a meeting tomorrow, sir.
Oh, yeah, it's always the information.
Thought it was, but
Directly.
okay, I got it. Very well.
With the vent.
Yeah.